Hey there, how you doing? This is a message for Brian, Nico, Dustin and Mike. So I'm Paul Popplewell, and I was in 15 Million Mirrors, Black Mirror. Brian, Nico, Dustin, Mike, it's Paul again. Listen, I just want to apologise. The sound quality on that video I did you was terrible. I was out hiking. I'm now in my little camper van thing. We shot 15 Million Merits a million years ago, but it was great fun. It was great to be a part of it, and it's been amazing to watch it kind of go stratospheric, and Netflix pick it up, and you know, all these Hollywood stars are directing and starring in it now. Not that the British cast were amazing, you know, absolute stellar, the creme de la creme of some of the top British artists, and me. But it was good fun. Good luck with the podcast, and keep up the good work, and don't go out there.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the series. We really appreciate y'all listening. We hope y'all have been enjoying these series reviews. I know we have. It's been a lot of fun. Just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves, so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, you know, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We are continuing on this week with 2 more episodes of Black Mirror. This is Brian's choice. I'm going to be doing the scene by scene tonight. Brian and Dustin are going to be doing the breakdown, the analysis. Brian, do you want to give your general thoughts on the first episode, which is Black Museum?
No, yeah, well, I kind of got them both together, so I'll just do them both real fast. It's quick and easy.
You do you, brother.
Unlike last week, both of these episodes, I'm definitely going to give a high score. I mean, both of these really stuck with me for different reasons, and I'm very interested to see how Dustin feels about the second one. But, you know, as usual, both of these are pretty fucked up. But like I said, for different reasons, you know, we'll get into it. But they really mess with my mind a little bit.
Yeah. Why would you? What? I'm curious. What do you think I'm going to say about the second episode?
I don't know. It's just given our recent discussions on Maggie Hart, I kind of feel like that, you know, now we got another affair going on. I'm just curious if Maggie Hart's going to bleed into this. How are you going to feel about it?
Okay. Well, to me, these episodes are going to be on opposite ends of the spectrum as far as score goes. I like the first one a hell of a lot more than I like the second one. The second one, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's my lowest rated episode that we've covered so far. The first one I thought was just fantastic. I'll get into it, but you know, a lot of times in shows or movies, we get a lot of backstory, but they do it in a way that's like, come on, like, does it make sense for that story to be told right now? And this one, it absolutely does, because they're in a fucking museum. Like, I loved that aspect of it. I love the storytelling, and then the twist at the end was I really loved the first episode a lot. Second episode, it was just so damn slow and just a cheating woman. Color me shocked. I don't know, man.
See, that's what I was expecting.
But no, I didn't hate the premise of the second episode. I think I just more so didn't like the execution. but I like the first one a lot.
The first one is actually my highest rated, I think, of the entire season. I don't know if there's another one that I like more than it.
I think it's mine as well. I don't remember.
Did you already watch them all?
I'm
Or you
talking
only
about
watched
the
this
ones that we've
so
done
far? Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nico, did you watch ahead?
I have seen the Daniel Kaluuya episode, the one I think we're doing the next time we record, the 15 million
50
or whatever.
million merits?
Yeah, I have seen that one. That was a good episode, but I have not watched the others yet. I mean, I might have seen a couple of them, but I haven't watched them in sequential order that we're doing the show in yet. I liked both episodes. I do agree the second episode starts a little slow, but I like the payoff, like the obsessed boyfriend with like what the hell his ex-girlfriend did. It was intriguing. I liked it. I had seen Black Museum already. It was one of the episodes that, just caught my eye from the thumbnail, the description. Watched it earlier. I did like that episode a lot. I think both are really good, and they both have similar scores. Any more opening thoughts before we jump into the scene by scene?
The second episode to me is he is obsessing too much. He needs to listen to Mario Winans' song, I Don't Want to Know. If you're cheating, keep it on the low. Like, that man was setting himself up to be hurt. So, yeah, anyway, I guess we'll get to that when we get to it. Let's go ahead.
That was a nice pull right there. All right, Black Museum. The show starts with Brian's favorite, nature shots. As we see Nish driving a country road listening to something always there to remind me. She stops at a sketchy gas station and notices the Black Museum. She walks over, but it's not open yet. Doors open and we meet Rollo Haynes. He asks about her accent. She's British and she says the roads were empty. She's doubtful of a big crowd today. He invites her in and he goes through her bag and has her walk through a metal detector. All clear and the place lights up. She said her dad lives out here and her mom wants a surprise. Rollo gets old-fashioned being concerned how long of a trip it was for a girl on her own. He notices how hot the building is and sees the AC is crapped out. Nish looks around and Rollo offers to tell her any stories about the things she sees. I'm so sorry. Did you give me the COVID through the computer?
Leave that in.
Yeah, you can leave it. It doesn't matter. Pause. Nish looks around and Rollo offers to tell her any stories about the things she sees. She asks about this hairdressing thing. Rollo says it's from Dr. Peter Dawson. Rollo was into medtech. We cut to New York now where he tells her about folks with no health care agreeing to experiments. Rollo chats with Dawson, saying he might have some help for his problems. Rollo talks of technology to transmit thoughts to others. He shows Dawson 2 lab rats and the thoughts aspect failed, but they figured out they could share physical sensation. Rollo shows him the prototype, a receiver for human experiences. Rollo makes his pitch to the most frustrating aspect of being a doctor, diagnosing what's wrong. We see him getting the physical receptors being installed, and now it's time for the trial run. The hairnet goes on the patient, and we see Dawson feeling the same pain his girlfriend experienced. Montage of Dawson diagnosing patients successfully until we see him using the sensations in the bedroom. He experienced male and female orgasms at the same time. Nish interrupts asking where's the butt. Senator Whitley is rushed in, and Dawson has no clue what this pain is. He blacked out for like 5 minutes. The senator had been poisoned. He experienced death and came back. His implant was messed up in the process. All right, Brian, this opening set of scenes, what do you think?
So, first of all, director Colm McCarthy directed this episode. This is the only one that he's directed. He's just done most TV, Peaky Blinders. He's done the most of, I think. But like most Black Mirror episodes, this one is shot great, just like the other ones were. Also, Stanley Kubrick, take notes because this open is how you shoot landscape and not make it 10 minutes long. Just throwing that out there. I kid.
Oh.
But Letitia Wright, Shuri herself from Black Panther. I honestly don't remember what her name is even in this niche, I think, or niche. Sorry, it's Shuri. Shuri. No, it's not because I can't even say that. Something kind of funny, though. She is eventually revealed to be an American pretending to be British, whereas Wright is a British actress pretending in this episode to be American. So that's fucking crazy to me. She's fantastic. I honestly didn't recognize Douglas Hodge, who plays Rollo here either. He actually played Alfred in 2019's Joker, but was awesome as Richard Nixon in the series Watergate as well. Great acting chops and perfectly cast here, I think. I love that guy. Kind of fun little Easter egg here. The lab rats that Rollo shows Dawson, they have the same names as the main characters from Shut Up and Dance. That one is actually not on the list this time, but if you get around to it, watch it. It's not bad. But stay tuned. This isn't the only time I'm picking Black Mirror for sure. I did laugh my ass off, though, and Nico touched on it. Just such a fantastic delivery by Hodge explaining the implant and the transmitter, and then Dawson being like, well, did it work? No. I don't know. It hit me the right way. I laughed. More of a deadpan humor guy, I guess. But Dawson saying in bed, like, I can't get enough of and we cut back and Shorty says, but see, I mean, I laughed at that too. Good shit there. Great open. Very cool look at the technology in this episode. And I mean, like, this is almost a decade old. The insight and just the nutso mind that Charlie Brooker had to have to think all of this shit. And then 10 years later, almost all of this tech still feels like it's like 50 years in the future. It's crazy.
Yeah, I started my notes by saying, hey, it's Shuri. We're a long ways from Wakanda. So I figured that you would catch that as well. But yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure Nico did too.
Yeah, he did. He actually texted me about it. The premise with the rats is very interesting, but I couldn't stop laughing at the look on Hector the Rat's face. And they kept showing it. Like, it was like you could tell that motherfucker had been zapped, and they just kept showing it. I laughed. I can't lie. Also, that seems horrible, though. Like, feeling the pain that patients were experiencing? Hell no. That's a crazy concept. I like the storytelling style of this episode. Like I said, it makes sense due to them being at, everything he's telling is about an artifacting museum. Really like that. Plenty of stuff happened in it. I just didn't really have a lot to take notes on. I'm highly invested in the episode, though.
Our girlfriend steps on a plug-in, and he felt the pain, but was into it after that. He tried to hide it at first, but the more pain he felt, the more pleasure he got. He's spanking his girlfriend during coitus, and she yells to stop. She's not into the hair pulling, the spanking, and choking. She says maybe she should go, but he begs her to stay. He pinches her arm, and she grows angered and leaves. He got acclimated to pain quick. He'd even hang around the ER when it wasn't his shift. The paramedics say they know it was cardiac arrest, but he's riding out the pain. They have to pull Dawson away from her so they can give the old lady CPR. Dawson meets with Rollo, saying they'll experiment to try and remove it, but they can't take people off of other projects right now. Pete's at home watching the news, dealing with withdrawal. He breaks his whiskey glass by accident and starts inflicting pain on himself. He spent a week harming himself, nothing fatal, but it was never enough. Working on himself still had something missing. No fear. It went with the pain. You can inflict pain on yourself, but not terror. We see Dawson walking the streets at night, and he goes full Patrick Bateman, killing a homeless person. He was picked up by the cops and is in a mental hospital in a vegetative state. Nish notices Rollo is quite parched looking and offers him some water. He chugs the whole bottle of water and talks about digital cookies. Rollo takes her to a stuffed monkey. He says it's one of the saddest things here. All right, Brian, so next set of scenes, what'd you think? And I'm sorry for my British accent.
Yeah, we just dropped like 10 spaces in the British rankings now because of that. First off, look, I'm not into rough shit like that would need a safe word to begin with. But if I was, I don't think I would choose stop as the safe word. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, take it from experience. You want something like pineapple or something like octagon, something that's like you wouldn't normally say, because stop can be confusing. Anyway, go ahead.
From experience, huh? That's crazy.
From what I've seen in the television movies.
Oh, just on the old boob tube. But man, Dawson picking away at himself. The body horror that's in this episode, it was fantastic. Like I felt like I was experiencing it too with the effects that were just so good. But in this case, I think it's definitely the sound mixing. Like hearing him tear away those teeth. Just, I can't say enough about that. Just fantastic job from Dylan Bennett, the sound effects editor, and the whole sound department. And not to date us, but with Alien Romulus just coming out, this tidbit seems relative to now because Bennett was also the sound effects editor on Alien Covenant. Also, guilty pleasure of mine. Hitman, Agent 47. That's guilty pleasure of mine. I like that movie.
Fun movie.
Another great group of scenes. Something I did see coming, though, with him taking it up a notch to involuntary torture. Now, I didn't see him being in a coma, though, with a Woody. That one definitely took me by surprise. But then I died laughing when Rollo said, yeah, he added the boner in. I love this guy. It's hilarious. Another great group of scenes with the first story. Love the little Easter egg about referencing the cookie and the Saint Junipera episode. If I'm not mistaken, but I may be wrong on that one. I'm flying the cuff with that fun fact. So anyway, I'm ready to see the next story.
Boy, Dawson is a wild boy. Dual orgasm experience wasn't enough. Like he wanted the pain too. That's crazy. I cringed like a motherfucker when he shoved the glass shard under his fingernail. And like you said, Brian, the effects and on the body horror, the gore, the blood and stuff, all that looked really good, and it sounded really good. Like you mentioned, just fantastic. Hats off to the showmakers there. And then what's going through my mind while we're watching this is Dawson would have had a field day with Saint Maud. Like, that's a match made in perverse heaven. She liked hurting herself. He liked hurting himself. He could hook his little cap, his little hairnet onto her, feel her pain. That would be crazy. But I'm highly intrigued by this story. We're off to a great start with this episode.
He tells her about a couple, and we see them having sex at a party. We see they got pregnant and have a baby now. They're at a park, and she backs into the street to take a picture, but is hit by a truck. She's in the hospital now, and Jack visits her for years. She never wakes up. Rollo pulls him into the hall and pitches him on something miraculous, digitally extracting consciousness out of the brain. He wants to take Carrie's consciousness out of her and put it into the 60% of his brain that's not used every day. He says it's no cost, but they'll have to euthanize her body and donate her organs for the community. Carrie's monitor says yes to the procedure. The procedure happens, and we see Carrie sitting in a chair in an empty room. Jack can hear her in his mind. Carrie is excited, tasting the apple. It's been so long. Parker, their son, enters the room, and Carrie is ecstatic. Time goes on, and we see the couple bickering over the things he does. She scolds him, watching graphic news and snapping on their son at breakfast. He has no privacy. It's like having a 24/7 backseat driver. Jack is back with Rollo, and he thinks they should ration their time. She's nagging him for checking out women, and he puts her on pause. She realizes she's been on pause for 8 weeks. She's furious but wants to see her boy. She weeps seeing her son. Mommy loves you, he tells him. Parker complicated things for the two as we see a montage of events with him. Carrie scolds Jack for chatting with a new neighbor. He puts her on pause, and inevitably he got it on with the neighbor. Emily tells Carrie to stop giving him shit. The couple is back with Rollo discussing their frustrations with Carrie. Jack doesn't want permanent deletion, and Rollo says they're in luck. They can put her in here, the stuffed monkey. Emily thinks yes immediately while Jack is hesitant. Carrie wasn't aware it happened until she woke up. Parker opens a gift, and Carrie sees she's not in Jack's mind anymore. He tells Parker about Mommy wanting him to have the monkey, and she can feel hugs. Emily takes the monkey into the hall and tells Carrie they will have her wiped if she doesn't be a good toy. Parker got tired of the toy, like kids do. Rollo explains the monkey is the crime. It's illegal to transfer consciousness now. Rollo tells her he lost his job. He didn't even get a severance package. That's why he started this place. You ready for the prime exhibit? All right, Brian, this next set of scenes, what'd you think?
Got a lot in this set of scene. I love that line where the boy is called Jack, and then the girl's called, and then Shuri interrupts and says, Jill. And then he goes, no, Carrie. Like, again, I laughed. I don't know if it's that deadpan humor. I don't know. Carrie played by Alexandra Roach. The only thing I heard that I've seen is the Huntsman Winter's War, but she has one of those like faces that made me feel like I'd seen her in a ton of stuff. She kind of looks like Heather Matarazzo to me, but maybe that's it. I don't know. But Aldous Hodge as Jack, that dude is a phenomenal actor. Won a SAG award in 2017 for Hidden Figures, was an 18-time nominee for stuff like Straight Outta Compton. Nico definitely knows him from Black Adam, but he is also in The Invisible Man, which I think we're going to cover pretty soon, I believe. But I would be remiss if I didn't point out my favorite Die Hard movie that he was in, With a Vengeance, and playing Mike in season 4, episode 9 of The Walking Dead. Dude is a fucking legend. But have we ever had a line like, he dick pukes a little baby paste up her wazoo? Like, I don't even know what to say about that line. And then her getting... and then her getting Final Destination, which, yes, I mean, that's a verb. But holy shit, that one caught me by surprise, getting run over that bus. This fucking story is nuts, though. It's holy shit. Like, this is one of those things that are feel good kind of at first, and then instantly you're like, oh, yeah, this is Black Mirror, and this is not going to be happy very long. I thought it was very cool to see the 15 million merits graphic novel Easter egg. That one's coming up in 2 weeks for us. Crazy rest of set of scenes, though. I mean, if you let yourself empathize with either of them, you definitely understand. But empathizing with Carrie, I mean, months go in an instant, and you're completely helpless and relying on someone else to feel or talk to your son. I mean, it's just a gut-wrenching situation all the way around. And anyway, just a more amazing sound design when Carrie is seeing flashes of her son, and we are seeing almost a montage take place. It's just the way the soundtrack gets louder and louder and louder during that part in this set of scenes. It's very effective, very well done. Insane ending with the monkey. like the White Christmas episode, it was just very claustrophobic and effective to me. Like I think I said during Pearl that being in a vegetable state is my worst nightmare and not being able to control my body. And this is basically that. And it terrifies me. Like ones like this episode, that kind of stuff sticks with me. And by the way, why couldn't he transfer from the monkey into something else though? Like, I don't understand why, like he lost his jaw, lost all that stuff. Why couldn't he just take the consciousness out of the monkey? Like, anyway, I'm ready to see the conclusion, how all these kind of tie together because you know it's going to.
Yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. People getting plowed by vehicles in movies and shows is hilarious. That van didn't even touch the brakes. I laughed. Transferring someone's consciousness to another person is crazy. This is the wildest concept we've covered in this show to me. Like, it seems like a nightmare. Imagine never being able to escape your old lady's nagging. That would not be a life worth living.
Jesus Christ.
I got another good laugh when she called him out for checking out the woman, and she said that she felt his boner forming. That's funny. That's also wild. And then talk about the ultimate cock block. Like, I would have jumped at the opportunity to get her out of my head and into that stuffed animal. His new girl has the most patience I've ever seen. Like, I don't know a woman that would put up with that. But it was funny when she got up and closed the door so the monkey wouldn't see her and Jack getting busy. Anyone else noticed that door was made of windows? Like when she closed it, I was like, what the hell did that accomplish? But I'm ready to see how this one wraps up.
All right, he takes her to the curtain, coughing badly and breathing shakily. He calls for Clayton Lee, the weather girl killer. Don't feel sorry for him. He's a convicted murderer. Nish looks sad and walks to the glass saying he looks so real. He wanted to get into celebrity consciousness, but too many rights issues. We cut to a prison and Clayton meets with Rollo. Clayton wants his help with DNA to get him free, but that's not what Rollo was there for. Rollo wants his rights to his digital copy. That would provide for his family for life. We see Clayton meeting with his wife, telling her they'll be provided for. Nish asks Rollo about the documentary, the DNA tampering. Rollo says it's fake news. Justice was served. The transfer went beautifully after execution. Clayton is now in the jail cell at the Black Museum. Clayton asks, am I a ghost? Rollo had it set up to where he could simulate the electric chair himself on Clayton. It couldn't exceed 15 seconds, then it would wipe him. 10 seconds was the safe limit. Rollo said business was booming in the beginning as we see several people electrocuting him over and over. They got a souvenir of his consciousness in agony. Rollo begins coughing violently now and Nish tells him to take a seat. She has no accent anymore. She brings up the protest that hurt his business. He lost his customer base, so he had to appeal to sadists and freaks. Rollo was paid by rich people to extend the electric shocks. We see where his wife visited in the past and he didn't even recognize her. Nish admits she's his daughter. Happy birthday, she tells him as he wanders around aimlessly. Her mom killed herself with pills and vodka. Nish hacked into the AC and gave Rollo a spiked drink. Nish says, don't worry, we're going to see you on the other side. She transferred his consciousness into her dad's virtual one. She turns off the 10-second limit and Rollo will still feel the pain. She pulls the lever and shocks Rollo, and her dad's digital copy disappears. The souvenir of Rollo's suffering spits out. Nish exits the museum, removing the device to hack into the AC, and the place catches on fire. She takes a stuffed monkey and gets in her car. She puts a souvenir of Rollo screaming on her rearview mirror, asking her mom how she did. I'm proud of you, honey, and she turns the car and music back on. Nish drives away as the museum burns up. Brian, what'd you think about the ending?
Holy shit, what an ending. First of all, shout out to Babs Olusanmoken as Clayton. You'll recognize him, of course, because I don't know why you wouldn't, but you'll definitely recognize him as Dr. Mbenga in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Oh, I mean, he was in some little movie called Dune as well, but yeah, Star Trek. That's definitely where you'll recognize him. But first of all, with allowing people to shock Clayton on demand, like, holy shit. And with the copy of his consciousness sent to the souvenirs for anyone to have, in the words of Billy Butcher, diabolical. But fantastic ending with the reveal of who Nish really is. Heartbreaking, but also in the words of Khan Noonien Singh, revenge is a dish that's best served cold. Fantastic episode.
Yeah, that's really sinister shit to make Clayton relive his execution over and over and to sell souvenirs off of that. Like, Rollo deserves what happens to him. Great twist for Nish to be his daughter and poison him. It's kind of predictable. I don't know. It wasn't the most predictable thing, but when I saw it, I was like, I wasn't shocked, but it was still very effectively done. And then the final twist that her mom is a passenger in her, that one shocked me. That's a great final revelation. It's a very interesting episode, probably my favorite that we've covered so far.
It was a good episode. Brian, Dustin, you got any
Yeah.
fun facts you want to share before we rate it?
Yeah, I've got a few. Do you have any, Dustin?
Go for it.
The Black Museum is the name of the radio program starring Orson Welles and based on real-life cases from the files of Scotland Yard's Black Museum, much like the articles of this Black Museum using things from various Black Mirror programs. The radio program ran in the United States in 1952. There's also a real mugshot of Jane Fonda that can briefly be seen within the museum from her 1970 arrest whilst protesting the Vietnam War. There's a drone bee from the episode Hated in the Nation. It's on display in the museum. And Nish makes a reference to Hated in the Nation with the quote, "They just moved on to the next viral miscarriage of justice" they can hang a hashtag off of. And the last thing I have is the DNA assimilator from the USS Callister. The episode, which is on our list, is on display in the museum as well.
I don't.
All right, guys, let's jump into our rating of the episode. Brian, this was your choice. Do you want to rate the episode first?
Yeah, sure. Just real quick. I love the episode. I'm going to give it the highest so far for me. It may end up being the highest of the whole season. I gave it a 9.5.
Okay. I'll go ahead and go. To me, the pacing was good, and I liked how there were multiple storylines woven in a way that made sense and told a good, cohesive story. I gave it a 8.25.